Hey friends, we're in the Tantive 4 corridor again. So you know there's some 3 3/4 goodness coming up. We're going to talk about a few things I really don't like about Marvel Universe figures. You know, the line that ended, 10 years ago? But we'll still get into it. First, this good looking figure. That is so loose, it does come off, but like, all good. Tack it down, do something. It's not the only culprit either, you know. It's the Juggernaut's bands don't stay up. Death's Head. I had to glue the cape down because it would move as soon as I touched the figure. So yeah, it's like a drop of paint, Hasbro. Second, like I said, this is a good figure. He came with the 2 accessories that I know of. I got a second hand. He came with the sword and this axe. Look at the circumference of the axe. Look at his hands. He doesn't hold it very well. Like, that's as good as you get with the sword. The axe is tucked behind his body, and he holds that a little bit better. But look at this figure. Snug in his hand, finger goes in the trigger, stuff fits in his holster well, he holds his knife. Like, they can do it. They just didn't do it. Next, look at these 2 figures. That's a classic Magneto. That's the ultimate Magneto. I realize, we got that one because they had all the tools to make it. They already had the cape, they had the head. So, that's cool. I'm glad that we got it. That was using a different buck. And then, that using another buck. Then we get a figure like Jubilee. Sorry, the coat's a little dirty. I gotta clean these figures a little bit. I don't recognize that costume. It doesn't match any costume that any other figures have. I want to get a second one so I can actually paint it like her 90s costume, which is what I think everybody wanted. But, they never remade another figure of Jubilee. Yeah, and I know bucks are expensive. Like, this coat was a tool. I don't think those gloves have been reused. The head, I don't think it's ever been reused. So, but yeah, it just doesn't make sense why they did some figures and didn't do others. We're going to pick on the women for another minute here. Psylocke has the belt that moves, but that's okay. That's not a big concern. This a ninja character, supposed to be really, agile. Her arm won't turn past there. Then you have a character like the Wasp, who can get into better, more ninja-ish positions than Psylocke. Like, just use that body. Then we have the figures. There aren't too many of these, thankfully. There's only 2 that I really know of that are available. I think the Howard the Duck common was one like this. But this is basically a slug figure. Yeah, it doesn't do anything. It can turn right at the waist there, and the arms kind of turn. But it's also in such a pose that you can't do anything with it. Like, Puck's supposed to be acrobatic. If they could, they would have made it so he could stand on his side or on his, well, that's about as good as you get in the head. It just doesn't make sense. Now we're going to address the leg situation, which I go on about all the time. It's to get this figure to stand, you have to monkey around with the hips so much. That's so, all right. But then to get him to move, you have to turn the hips, turn the thigh, and to get it back in a standing position, like, it's unbelievable. Well, they have bucks that would have worked, That's my favorite action figure body the Marvel Universe uses. Now we have 2 of the most agile X-Men. Beast, Nightcrawler. You can get Nightcrawler in some poses. that look decent. But then you have a figure like this that can do pretty much anything. So, same with Beast. This came out later in the line, but come on. Like, when you even have this buck to reuse, although I will say this only has 4 fingers per hand. I didn't know Beast had that. On the package, he has 5 fingers, but oh well. Okay, and lastly, here are some of the bucks that they use. There's 7 different ones. At this point, I think G.I. Joe was going the 25th anniversary. So they had this large parts inventory that they could go through, tool, everything could be consistent. You know, as a customizer, mainly, I know personally, those arms don't go on that body. That's pretty much, you can't use that buck for anything. Like, a lot of these aren't compatible with each other, and which is all well and good, but again, as a customizer, it's just, it bothers me. So, you know, you can't switch hands. Certain hands don't fit in certain arms. Like, I don't know if it was a licensing thing that Marvel had to have a unique style, but I don't know. So, all right, so 440 videos, we had to make at least one negative. All right, friends, we'll talk again soon.